here's the issue. The true issue. No human being is ever going to understand me. If you think about all the people that are talking about other dimensions and other beings and other dimensions and other beings, do they know that in order for them to experience them truly, other than a human being thinking they're somebody in a higher dimension, meditating off into a crazy place, that they can teach other people how to learn how to see abundance or get abundance and be wealthy and make big bucks at their job and help a economy that succeeds by radio waving people and frequencying people into mindless zombies more than they already have. And I've been to the future. The issue that I'm having is that I can't talk about it because then I'll create it even sooner. All I can do is try to wake people up and have them become conscious so they don't start going into the age of robotics, in the age of being so scared we destroy ourselves. There's no war. If everybody woke up tomorrow and said, you know what? Let's do something that's actually good for me and everyone else. If everyone did that, why would anybody wake up tomorrow and say, you know what? Let's keep a world going where I'm in control of these people and these people listen to me and these people listen to me. Fuck it. Who cares how deep you are? Who cares if you're a multi-billion gagillionaire? That's fucking paper. Nobody in any suit, tie, skirt, suit, big bear-skinned gorilla bear, hairy man, muscular, 7 foot tall, strongest man in the world is any more important than anyone else. You'll always be a human being in this one lifetime. No one is ever going to understand me, and I sound like a raving lunatic. I know how I sound as a fucking human being to another fucking human being. We aren't even human beings. Do you know how much it pisses somebody off who's truly one with God? When they live in a world like this now, you think someone that is actually enlightened is going to walk around acting like fucking Christ? No, they aren't. Because you don't know what Christ acted like. You are Christ. You're just in a different body this time. Do you not have a person or a spirit inside of you that can hear what the fuck I'm saying? If you wake up tomorrow going to make paper or money or digits or Bitcoin, you're fucking out of your goddamn mind. And God itself does not want you doing that with your fucking time. And I also get pissed off as I don't want to be pissed off, but I'm getting so pissed off. I wake up every morning. I don't really wake up. I can't go to sleep. I can't do anything. I try to sleep because I'm trying to go back to acting like a human because I know people aren't really ready to understand what's happening. And when somebody says the truth, the absolute fucking truth, they have no way that they can believe it. Because they think they're a human being. And when somebody says that I've already died, I don't give a fuck about money at all. To the point where I'm supposed to bring back my truck all the way to Allentown, Pennsylvania, and I don't care about this. This is going to be a cool road trip. But the truck is already fucked up. It's starting to kink and pop when they turn the wheels and stuff like that. And I already dumped all kinds of money into this truck. And the business that I had before has taken all the money that I have from me. So, and they don't care. The truth is, money means jack shit. Jack shit. If my future steps are dictated by the thought of the people that I do not morally agree with, that I don't give a fuck what kind of world has been shoveled down my throat my whole lives, not this one time. I've experienced this so many fucking times, it's driving me crazy. And I know that if I kill myself, I won't go anywhere. I know. I've killed myself so many times. I've killed other people so many times. I've been other animals. I've been everything. And what do you think an enlightened being would really act like? What do you think one person who has actually been timeless, who has been billions of what we call years, but they don't mean anything? People talk about dimensional beings that go through these periods of time and cry on, and I am Cryon. I am Raw. I've been through all of that. I've talked to all those people in the future, it seems like. I've talked to all the people in the past, it seems like. When I listened to John Denver today with my brother, because I know he liked John Denver, I remember dying in a plane crash, and I remember smoking a lot of weed, and I remember not just I'm trying to simplify it. I remember his whole fucking life. If I wanted to tune in and pay attention to it and really focus my efforts on any of the past beings who are dead, Robin Williams, like another one, Don't Worry, Be Happy came on after that. And I start crying now because when my heart is open, looking at nature and realizing how beautiful it is to have really understood and been the earth and have been other planets and have been existences, I've been through so much. Nobody has a clue what I'm talking about because they think in this one human life, they've had really bad migraines, they've had car accidents, they've been in accidents. I've been shredded, lived through lives of being crippled, lived through lives of being everything. And it's not something that's in my mind. It's something that I've gone through. It's in the mind. It's in us. We are all mind. And nobody gets it. The truth is, I'm trying to be as honest as anyone has ever been. But you got people like, and there's nothing wrong with these people. They're trying. I know they're trying in either one way to make money to capitalize, to do what they think makes sense, or to support their family because we've been living in a world that holds us down with the idea of invisible value with paper and money when everything grows right around us in our front yards. All of us. Except, hi, Katie. There's a cat outside my window and I love animals and I'm not mad at animals. I'm not mad at anybody. I'm mad at the fact that nobody else can actually go deep inside of mind and understand what we're doing here. So instead, they get mad at each other. They start pointing their blame at other people. And they relax by watching shows that do negative things, that give them more negative ideas, that make them feel the world is shit, that make them notice all the shit, that never focuses on anything good. And they eat meat, and it turns them into animalistic, zombie-minded people. We've been in the zombie apocalypse for a long time. It's just now we've been putting it out in movies to show that we are the zombies. We are the ones who are brain dead, walking around chasing after paper, which is really, at first it was trees. And we started having value, because what would you think without words and sophisticated motherfuckers that seem like they're so smart because they went to Harvard or Yale or talked about this passion that they've had for millions and all these times they've, oh my God, I can't even say the right words because they don't matter. Nobody's listening. And people think, oh, listen to this guy who's raving nuts. No, I can sit and act normal if you want me to, but everything I do from this point on is an act. Elon Musk is a joke if you compare to what my actual understanding of truth and reality, real reality in our words, is. Going to Mars, going to this, going to that. You're only going to live that in this one lifetime. I've been to every planet. I've been stars. And I realize that when you die, none of it is real. None of it. You've never seen a star. Of course you have. But you've never seen a planet. You've never done any of this stuff. It was just your spiritual adventure. And it's because people don't have a deep enough imagination or an understanding or a truth that within them there's something vibrating around and causing energy to stir up and do all these awesome things. But instead they're choosing to focus on negative and they're holding themselves back, but they don't even understand that they're doing it. They all do it. Everybody that I've ever seen in my whole life has done it their whole life. And I did it most of my life. And as soon as I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, guys, what have all the billions of us been doing? And because I'm just one little ant in this fucking anthill, like everybody doesn't understand that my honest to God truth to them is the truth that they all need to hear. All of them. All of them. Because it won't matter then what any material thing they get. Any idea, any adventure, any woohoo, any good time, any bad time, any drama, any saga, any murder mystery. We've all been all of it. Some of the children won't understand this, but even some of the children will understand this better than the adults. Because the adults are so confused. So confused. Wall Street, business, potheads that wave around all their drugs and they act like badasses and they got flaming skulls on their motorcycles and other people have got, like, they're bumping out cars and other people have got their really awesome cars and they're ones that they can spin around in and do drifts and some of them do skateboarding tricks and some of them are high flyers and some of them are singers on national televised talent shows, and none of that matters, guys, at all. None of it. None of it. It gives you a thrill for now because you're seeking some pleasure somewhere. And when somebody tells you the truth, that's just one experience. After that, what are you going to do? After that, what are you going to do? I was saying this to people as Alan Watts, but I can't talk and act like Alan Watts when you see me as Dan Alexander. I don't even want to be seen. I don't want my face to be seen because I'm not this face. I try to take care of my body because it's what I have as a vehicle to explain it to people. And this is one of those moments in time, this day, this whatever, that I have to fucking vent. Because nobody that I talk to makes any sense to me. It's all stuff I've done before 1 billion times. I don't want to hear about the people that gave you this food, or you had this pie, or we brought back this that somebody had extra, and it's always food talk. Do you need to eat 3 times a day? I want to ask everybody, do you always need to eat, period? Or is it just something that you've had put into your head? Because it just keeps you slowed down. The more your body's breaking down food, the more you have no energy. I don't eat anything but like stuff out of the yard, the grass. And I don't need to sleep. And I'm wide awake, full of energy. And it's not whoopee ding dong about Dan. It's the fact that the energy that we have is the sunlight, the water, the vegetables and fruits that are so earth made that as long as they're not tarnished. I live out here in a place where there's no pesticides, no fluoride in our water, nothing like that. I am wide awake trying to talk to people, but everyone I talk to feels insulted because I've been saying it so nicely for so long. I feel like I've been saying it nicely for billions of years, guys. I really do. And I am only talking to I'm not only talking to myself, Dan, because Dan isn't here. I can act like I can sit and try to remember all my personal life details as Dan, but that's just about the same as remembering all the personal life details of Abraham Lincoln. That's another name. And when I show you all this stuff, if you really see what I'm trying to say through the letters that nobody else could have ever showed you, nobody, because I did that before time started, this time on Earth, because I've done this so many times that this is like a giant land, matter, physical world with the possibility of having your mind think of other minds or other individuals and other souls. And of course they're there. And of course there's all these bugs and ants and insects because God is so powerful. God is imagination to its greatest degree of experience, physically, emotionally, sensually, to the smallest experience of being a mud flake in the bottom of a swampy pond. As silly as that sounds, you know what's happening right now, right? You know there's a swamp and it's got bacteria living in it. And that bacteria moves around. Even scientists would say, yeah. Well, that's living in the same idea of living this period. If you fight and die for your country, then you die for fakeness. You die for words that somebody taught you since you were young. No matter what country, no matter what city, no matter what climate. Yes, tropical places are great. Mountainy places are great. Wetlands are great. All these places are great. But your place is no better than anyone else's place. It's where they started. And if they want to go somewhere else without harming others, why can't they? Because there's people that have been trained and worried and so scared that people are so baffled. I can't find the right words to tell people because the English language and all the languages are bound by their sound. Or when people start understanding, they'll be like, oh my God, I really do understand what waking up means. And I conceptually get it, but I'm too afraid to do that because if I actually get rid of my name, and when I say that, it's not something that what's weird is everybody that's saying it on all these YouTube videos got it from my mind, no matter what time it was. And if that doesn't make sense to people or they think, no, that's not possible, the same thing is happening to you. Everything you've heard that seems like it's someone else, your spiritual being is like you inside your own head saying, yes, no, maybe. But what about tomorrow? What am I doing then? What am I going here? And then you got 10,000 things going on inside your head. Those are all appearing outside of you as other people. And if they haven't been this moment, they were brought up in what seems like time to bring another birth into the world so that you could meet them later, going through an idea that you, as I, have once had. And we all have them all. And we all manifest them all. And they all happen to each of us. The stronger you are spiritually, the more you can bring it. And I was bringing it so hard when I first understood it. But then in this world, it's like ruining a board game for somebody after it's done and being like, okay, with my idea about how money is, the truth about how everything is, like, we need to throw out the money system because it means nothing. And we've been killing each other over it. And I mean, people would say, yeah. But there's people in power using money and power to kill. Yeah. That's how it's always been. We have to say, so what? Well, then put me to sleep and I'll go to the next life. Because that you really do. Especially if you go into death not scared. The problem is if you go into death scared, you start this life as a human being back in this, what we say game, what we say whatever. Those words are just so minimalizing to what life really is. Life is so much more powerful than a game or a board game or a simulation, no matter how good a video game looks or how good the graphics are or how good the virtual reality is. It seems like you're really there. Well, guess what? Take off the virtual reality and go do those adventures and you'll actually be there and your body will feel it too. Your skin will feel it too. The sun will be out. It won't be a pair of fucking goggles on your head with your hands out paying somebody to entertain you just because money keeps you from traveling there and working keeps you occupied and the foods you eat keep you mummified and stupid and the water you drink and clean yourself with also keeps you deadened down and less disobedient. You'll be more orderly because they put it in you since you're little. They tell you to raise your hand when you talk. They tell you to listen to your elders. And when you get older and you see your elders aren't any smarter than you, in fact, they're like child minds compared to you. But you can't say that to them because they'll feel insulted. And you don't want to say it to them because you love them. How are you supposed to live in a world like this? It's like if you guys were playing Monopoly and I won and then I came back and I said, hey, guy, and I just put my hand on the board and just smeared the whole thing all over the place because that's how much acting like money in this world matters. That's how much tankers and shootouts and armies and all that shit really matters. It doesn't at all. And people are dying in it and feeling pain and crying and hurting. And yes, we're all supposed to understand it, but we can understand it differently now. And I have a whole system in order to teach people how we can make this world go right, how we can not kill off people, but raise all of the rest of them up smart enough so when new children come in, we raise them up better. And we don't have to worry about multiplying. And we start using our minds on what we do with our sexual energy. And we can have fun. We just don't reproduce as much because we don't need to. If we do, that takes the energy out of what the world needs in this game, in this reality, in the earth. We have to stop saying that we're polluting the world, but the only way to believe in that in this physical world is to stop polluting it. Mentally, the garbage we put on the radio and the television and the internet and the phones and everything, the garbage we put on and that we senselessly keep making stupid poop emojis and racial couples just so people that happen to be racial or racist will get angry. And it's good that we keep it up in a way where we promote happiness, but people are always going to hold it back until they really wake up. They got to go to the higher level of being to realize that all of it doesn't matter. Your ideas of your hometown and you were born and raised here, so it's tried and true in your blood. That's not even real. It's only real to you. It's not even real. So if I say tried and true, I'm from America, I was raised in Pennsylvania, and I'm a Pennsylvanian all the way down to my heart. Boo! Do you understand that that's just one idea that you're living through in this body? And another person who lives right next door to you doesn't think that way about your world, your country, your state. Guess what? That's just a thought. And that thought has gone through your head, but it just went in and out. You concentrate on what you want to concentrate on. Some people had a thought in their head. I've had all the thoughts in my head that I've seen out there. There's nothing out there in this world that I can't imagine or that I haven't already done. Like, look at space. Is it any more fascinating than anything else? You see more colors, more galaxies, more whatever. It's somebody else is looking for it and explaining it. If they wouldn't have looked for it, they wouldn't have explained it. But they would have found something else because we're too occupied looking for something to do and talk about and new adventures to have. Am I not right? No, a lot of people aren't looking for adventures because they've just given up because the world's holding each of us down. We got to stop eating meat and killing animals. We won't overproduce. They won't overproduce. It's going to be odd. The transition has happened on another Earth before. And I was there, and it's lived and survived a lot longer than this. And when I died, I started back in this one to help people. Help spiritual beings awaken. That's what I'm truly here for. And I can't stop the truth. What else can I do? It's actual. I won't even say real or reality. It's actual. It's happening to me. And I'm not crazy. No matter how much I try to sleep or if I get to sleep, I wake up and it's still happening. It's not all these fruity hyper colors. It's not all these weird things. It can be. My mind is there. I can do that whenever I want to. But why? Why would I sit around like a goofball doing that with my time when I could wake people up so that we don't waste our time anymore? poisoning ourselves, wasting our time. And the thing is, people that would really truly know that it makes no sense to listen to guns and murder and violence, or to actually commit it and do it yourself, they know that, but they can't stop doing it because it's actually now a habit of their thought process. And I was there too, in all of them. So when I look at them, I realize I've done that before, and I understand, but I'm trying to help you wake up. Dr. Dre and Snoop and Marla Maples and anybody you see on TV is asleep. They're just playing a character. They play a character on TV. They play their personal character at home or off camera, but they're just playing a character. Russell Brand, Elon Musk, the president, everybody in every country, every race, every child, every elderly person in the hospital bed dying, every person in wheelchairs or having health conditions, every person who's fit as a fiddle or super strong, playing around or going out on television and doing American Ninja Warrior and all that stuff. I've been all those things. It's fucked up to say, and I'm not trying to discredit anybody, because everybody wants to feel welcome, love. They want to feel important. They want to feel accomplished. And we all have done it, and we've all felt all of those other feelings too. We hold on to the good ones. We want to hog them all up for ourselves because we don't realize that they're there for everybody. And if we didn't hold each other down by digging up, like, we go on such a deep level with gasoline and oil and the factories and buildings we make to pump out stupid shit that nobody needs. We all know nobody needs it, but we don't care. We have people selling it buying it for $4 from cheapwish.com and selling it here because, hey, they can capitalize and make a bunch of money. Money means nothing. So all along, when you die, when you're in your deathbed, and I know this because I've done it on beds, I've drowned, I've died in space, I've died everywhere. On every inch of ground I've died. And that's a reality of mine. So I try to put on a happy face and act like Dan. That's my fucking issue. And nobody will ever understand me. Ever. So why would I want to be around in a world like this? I want to get people together to start playing outside again and being carefree. Throwing around, getting people together to play football. Is that weird? No. But not do it for money. Do it for fun. Get people together and meditate and truly connect to the earth. It's hard to change your mind from being like, oh, it's stupid and silly, to actually feeling it in your heart, feeling it in your spirit, and being one with the livingness that you are, not the ego that you've had for your whole life, or that you've keep developing and changing and becoming more and more different characters. Every time you go with a new group of friends or get a new job, you're just developing a new character. You'll look back and be like, wow. We think that we look back and see only ourselves, but guess what? If there weren't other people there to notify you that you accomplished it or did it or whatever, those are outside you for you to experience. And that sounds really complex, but it's too simple for people to really get it. They'll be like, yeah. About everything I say, people will say, yeah. Except when I go off and talk about space and shit, because their mind will tell them something different. But I've thought their thoughts too. I know the reality of it. Beyond their thought of reality. And beyond that thought of their thought of reality. And I'm not trying to be complex and sound cool. It's not cool at all. It's not fun to be the chosen one. And I don't even want to rock around saying that because there's too many people who act like it. From India or from anywhere. I don't even want to put them down, like, because they're just trying their best to live their life, to live a life of some sort, egoless or not. Even their egolessness is an ego to others, right? I'm not Dan Alexander, but I'm this dude. I am the chosen one, but everyone is. But everyone would sound weird if they said that. But if they really came from the truth and said, yeah, that really doesn't matter, but it's beautiful, and start realizing that you should say that about everything and then second guess it if it's not. The idea of working each other for money and thinking that there's a boss over somebody in business suits and ties when each one of them would rather be doing something different. But they're so used to it, they don't know it anymore. They think they've got to go and get something accomplished. They think they'll always be that way. They won't. They'll die and they'll do a different one. Most of the time they'll die. If they're grumpy and angry, they'll do an opposite. And they'll see how stupid they were. But the funny thing is they won't even realize how stupid they were until they seem like they died the next time after a whole lifetime. It's crazy, I know. But it's true. So I wouldn't say it's crazy. It's the only truth. But everyone's going to think it sounds crazy. Because They've got holidays this year, right? And they've got to go back to school, and they've got to do this, and they've got to do that. And when I say it's simple like that, I'm not just trying to put it down, but really think about it. Did you need school? Couldn't you teach your kids? I could. And without a doubt, way better than school can. And I'm not trying to put down any of the individuals, but the system is a failure. Complete. Now, it's helped a lot of people think or get their minds organized. And there's a purpose for it. But they're teaching history and shit that doesn't matter. Because the people in control I don't even want to say the people in control. Those who think that they're people in control are trying to keep power. That's simply all it is. And until we are brave enough to say no, and if you need to kill me over it, then do it. I'm not trying to cause a fight. That's the point. Nobody should be like, get your own guns and get ready for war. When you die, either shooting those people or shooting out your belief system over the rights that were taken from you. They're not taken from you. Live where you live. Go where you go. If someone says they got to kill you for some reason or take you away for some reason, let them do it. Why not? You got your ego you got work to worry about? You got your kids to worry about? They'll just throw you away if you're not the new fad or the new trend. You got your family to worry about? Most families are broken. They're all divorced and stuff because they learned that from TV. We're not supposed to be married. We're not supposed to settle down. That's a training method. That's a way to keep people, their egos pleased. And we each did it to ourselves individually before we went through our childhood and our teenage years and our adult years. There's no time. You do arrange it all, but it is a life experience. So it is real, as in reoccurring energy as life or as linear process. We're doing it so we can feel it, so we can experience it. There's skin and there's bones, but those go too. But you don't. I don't. And I know it because I've done it. There's no such thing as a number. There's no such thing as a letter. Those are words that bring earth realm into living space, into physical world. And the remainders of what we call our ancestors are saved in the rocks and the plants and the ground. And it sounds so hard for people to understand that when we still just put chips in our things and act like a little mini microcard can hold all these pictures and movies. How does it do it? Because time is irrelevant. Memory is in the metal, in the plastic, in the earth around us, and in your belief system. If someone shows it to you, somehow they learned it. Someone before them learned it and showed it to them. And because they did it, they opened up a spot in their brain and their neural network that did something that makes it so that their eyes can see it, their body can feel it, they can witness it and feel it. That's how it works. But we have so many extravagant thingamajigs and inventions and gadgets that people just can't truly see the spiritual depth underneath it all. Talking about the Sephiroth and the Kabbalah and the tarot cards. Yeah, they're all right too, because they're all just the same amount of rightness as your name is you. Truth. You're just as holy as Jesus or Muhammad or any of them ever were. You really are that righteous. You are that holy of a being. Each thing are God itself. I don't want to break a limb off a tree. I don't want to do anything. Like the only things I would say harm, are flowers and plants because they are there for us to be one with. When I eat them, I become them and they regrow. You don't eat things that rot when they get plucked. If you can resprout them, you can put them in your body fresh and give them fresh water and they will resprout inside you, but not as what they look like out there. What they look like from your mind. You can control what they turn into. That's the craziness, but none of us have the time to actually learn that because we go through school, we're learning the wrong stuff. We should be teaching the truth about how deep the mind works. I've had psychokinesis. I've had the ability to shoot fire. I've been imaginary fairy tale creatures because they aren't imaginary. I'm age in airy. In air. I'm age in air. Imaginary. That isn't me playing with words. That's the truth of how deep and playful God really is. All of this is kind of playful if you really understand dying a millions and zillions of times, that it is playful. And it's not fun in a body that has emotions and pains when you see everyone that you think as a human being you care about, and you do. Okay, it's not like I think my mom and my parents and my family isn't there, or that the world isn't there. Of course it's there. It's for us to all experience. And it's for me to say, if you could agree within your own mind on both sides with just the one thought and another thought, it's awesome. You can experience something. But if you could control the billions of thoughts that are going on in your head at all times, you would understand that the world around you is the same exact thing, but none of them are in control of their mind at all. At all. And they think they are. No matter how much of a tests or neural probes and all this kind of cool stuff, Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden, they're doing great work. They're trying. They really are trying, and I feel their hearts. People that are working their asses off. The manager of a convenience store that has to work all day by himself because no one else will come in. They shouldn't come in because you shouldn't sell your life away for that. But I also am still in a life where I have to supposedly pay a money order or a child support every month or every week. And then, I have to get the money order and then I have to, wait in line. So I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm glad that this guy's here to be able to be in this part of my existence so I can appreciate him. And I go up there and I'm like, hey man, I appreciate you because I see what you're doing and no one else is noticing that you're a living being up here. Just stressing away because someone didn't show up or come to work. And I'm like, I just want you to know that you are truly appreciated from a living this point. And he's like, dude, really, thank you. And he's like, no one comes in. I'm like, I get it. And I didn't need to hear it because I already knew it. But I still let him say it. I'm like, yeah, thank you so much, man. Thanks for your time. And sorry for, because he had a line of like 20 people. I was getting a money order. And I'm like, sorry, guys. Sorry, I love you all. I care. I'm not trying to waste your time. You got your tattoos and you're a little overweight. You got your kid over here with this slushy and he needs it. And your daughter wants a Slim Jim, which she shouldn't be eating. But who am I to say any of this? Who am I to say that animals should just get killed so your daughter can have a Slim Jim? Why not? Yeah, why not? If you were conscious, you would see what I'm saying. But since you think you're conscious and you eat meat, you're going to be like, whatever. He's just being stupid. No. What if you were that pig? There's livingness. What if you were that animal? There's livingness. Is it okay if someone cuts your throat and takes you so they can make you into a little snack? No, it's not. Just because they can't talk English, all animals feel. And plants do feel. But you treat them right. You pluck them and you replant them, they can grow. You can't pluck an animal and then it'll plant and regrow. It'll become a different animal, a separate beingness. All in the one timeless being, but for your experience to understand love and hate or peace and turmoil. And it is, literally, it is murder to kill any living thing. For someone who works at a butcher shop and does it all day, it doesn't matter how many billions of chickens and cows they've killed. It's murder every time. We don't take it seriously because people will be like, oh, it's not a person, it's not murder. It's not life, it's not murder. It didn't have it couldn't talk to me. If I raise my hand at it and yell, it'll cower in fear and say, please don't, in a way. But that's not enough, because it's got to be standing on two legs and walking and talking and speaking for me to care that it has livingness in it. And if this guy here who actually used to credit himself and think he was Dan Alexander, who now says Dan Alexander doesn't exist, but you got to look at him as that, and he's telling me the truth about everything right to my face, but I'm not going to admit it because it would really shake me up to live that kind of life of truth. That plants are here for us. If we really change our spirituality, we could eat what we call poison plants. But you have to get out of that world and stop talking and associating with people who believe that stuff. But there's so much information out there. The words are the magic. The colors are magic. Yes, they're all magic, but they all are described by words. And we're so intelligent now, it's so hard to explain that as we came up through the rocks and the beings in the mammoths and all those kind of things, we were going through a timeless phase of getting our mind together, spreading out and becoming something good, but then also spreading out and becoming something bad, because all our thought, every thought, is manifest in some way. It may not be right here in your present space, but it'll show up. It really will. It does. And because I've seen all the truth, I'm seeing it in the world. As soon as I saw the truth, the world shut down. Like right after my experience, the whole COVID shit started. Everything started like right after. Like even the year before that, I was saying it was going to happen. But I didn't want to tell too many people. So I'd only told my family. And then it happened. Everything that I said happened. So then I looked through my books and I was like, fuck, I better throw this stuff away. I better burn this so it doesn't happen. So they burned it all. And the stuff that I remember and I worry about as Dan and ego happens. And if I say I already saw this was going to happen, but this celebrity and that celebrity, because the letters all added up for me and I knew the math. Everything. I know about Elon Musk's next move. And I know about the automated car, Phase 5, and all this dumb shit. It's people talking fancy. It's like the cool kid in school who was great at the science fair, just doing it on the World Science Fair. That's all it is, simply put. But the people with the big, seemingly big brains are too stupid to know that. Isn't that fucking crazy? The people who think they're the smartest are the stupidest because they think what they've come up with matters. When their person dies, what's gonna happen? Nothing. Nothing. They'll mean nothing. They would have just been a distraction to the truth. Should we go to Mars? No. Should we take care of our planet? Yes, and we could simply do it. Quit saying, oh, we've done tests and this is going to die in the next 20 years. We're not going to be here. That's something we all believe, right? If people would stop believing that and being afraid of the revelations are coming true because you are timeless. And the more you believe that shit, it's going to try to start coming true. And then it'll seem smooth. And then it'll try to come true. And then it'll seem smooth. And if it's bad enough, you'll think that you die and the whole world is going to hell and going to blow up. And all these people are going to die in this big, massive whatever. And they do. But you're still here and you just start over as a baby. Or wherever you want if you can keep your consciousness. That's truly what happens. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. That's the problem is I'm not trying to sugarcoat it and capitalize off anybody. I'm just being honest. And I'm being very point blank because I don't need to fucking sugarcoat it. Why should I? The truth is right here for people to know and they don't want to because they're afraid to give up the world they were raised in. That's all I'm going to say for now because I'm going to go pick up my son because it's all I got to hold on to now as an individual human being in this world named Dan, where they already took my kids and they were supposed to. But that doesn't mean that I was not supposed to see them anymore because I'm supposed to, I can treat them as their name and their character until they truly become conscious. But because my mind has actually opened up to more than any brain can hold, like tomorrow somebody could sit and ask me math problems and algorithms and stuff like that, and none of it fucking matters. They're all just silly words. Break down the word algorithm. I could do it for you now, but I'm not going to because it doesn't matter. All the words, I made them before they showed up billions of years ago with the Big Bang. That's another idea. I was there when it happened. This time and all the billions before it. And all the beings who lived, and all the ants and all the anthills, and all the Zumphites that lived on other planets. There's so many things that I know about. Just as much as you know that there's been American Idol for 20 years or so. Just as simple as that is for other people to know is seemingly true that it has happened. Other existences, other billions of lifetimes, I know are really true and have happened to me. Just like you know that there's television shows. Just like you know that you're from your family. That's how deeply I know everything that's happened. And it's so scary that I can't get out of that. It's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. But what's the bad about it is that no one else can wake up and I can't listen to their silly small talk about dumb things. But I know it's them trying to mature as a spiritual being and I'm trying to help them do it sooner. But I'm not trying to shake up the board game like I was saying. So how do I do it? And I'm asking people who none of them are awake so they can't help me, help them. They've got to actually hear me and have the experience and really want to start helping. Some people are like, I took a heroic dose and I saw the truth. Yeah, fuck this world and all these politicians. If you saw the truth, you would know that those are just words that we're playing with. And you would start explaining it the way I'm explaining it. Because that's the only truth. Every word is just the word. And that's what makes them happen. Your name is the same thing. And I could show you everybody that. It will freak them out. And they'll just be like, wow, that's cool. How'd you do that? And that's all they'll say. Because they don't understand. And it's spooky, but it's great. And if other people don't want to hear it anymore, then I say, fine, just put me to sleep. Just let me go to bed and shoot me with something that'll put me to sleep. And Dan will go. And I'll go do something else because I know what happens. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say.